Hi everyone and welcome to the edCafe. This is your host Mansi, and today we have a very special guest with us. Let me give you a glimpse of her introduction. A multidisciplinary artist blended with film, painting, dance, AI and occult. Please welcome Miss Mahima Bhayana, also now Mahima Freya Krishna, is a creative devotee of film and live performances when we talk about painting, dance, AI and elements of occult created by her subjects. Her approach is to pour her state of being on canvases or any other medium really accessible. Her strong performance strokes drive the boundaries where she plays with her lines, intricate detailing and color that communicates her emotions and thought process. Please welcome Miss Mahima. We are obliged to call you to the edCafe today. Please tell our audiences about yourself.
Thank you so much, Mansi. Yeah, it was really nice hearing about myself. Yeah, and you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. Mansi has already given a little introduction about my practice. So, I am an artist and I love to paint, dance. I love astrology and I love making films. I love writing. I love everything. I love everything which is about movement, creativity, working with people, and I am a big fan of ancient art forms. So I think that I've been able to do all this is because I love art and I love all aspects of art. I don't know what is my favorite, but as of now, I think I am really enjoying dancing. Yeah. So this is what I do, and this is what I will do till I go into my grave.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. So as you talked about the dance, specifically about the dance, so I have one of the questions for you. So what dance styles or genres do you specialize in? And what styles do you cover in this training programs, whatever you get?
Okay. So my education has been through Guru Shishya Parampara in classical dance, which is Kathak. That is why my grammar of dance is something which I take very seriously, and as a student of classical dance, I think I will always be a student, and I have learnt and I will continue learning. Now that is my grammar. Now as far as my contemporary practice is concerned, I am decently well versed with most dance forms and I experiment. And how I practice my own performance is by creating a marriage of dance and painting and occult, and I call that art performance. It is not scripted, even though my training has been in very strict ancient art forms or classical forms, so that gives me a very strong structure to experiment. And because my structure is strong and I keep on working also on my structure, like I would never say that, oh, I have learned and I will not keep learning. I have to continuously learning. So because my structure, my roots are strong and will be stronger, I can experiment a lot. They say that if your root chakra is strong, your sacral and your desires can reach its full potential. So if you talk about the form which I practice, it's called art performance because it's not scripted, but at the same time the vocabulary which I get to experiment is coming from a traditional disciplined practice. Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Also, as we just had a conversation before this interview about the validation.
Yeah.
Right. So, talking about dance or maybe any other performances that we go in an artistic form, do you think that people are like more into validating things rather than they are doing it from their own heart or feeling? So what do you have to say about this?
So validation is something which it was there, it is there, and it will always be there. Everybody needs validation. It always comes down to your parents or your childhood, and I do understand it's not anybody's duty to validate anybody. Nobody is obliged, but at the same time, if a child gets feels accepted, so I feel they feel a little more confident in terms of validation. Now in today's age, because of social media has probably taken the role of parents, because that is what, and friends, because that is what is validating you, and unfortunately it's quite a sad state of affair. So it is great little bit, yes, it gives you little confidence, but overall it's a machine, it's AI giving you validation, and I feel that should not be the case. Maybe it should be, AI can be a subject, but it definitely should not be a medium.
Because AI is anyways not giving you a moral, cultural ethics.
Because it's artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
And artificial intelligence was created back in the day, even in terms of timetable, to help human beings do more work, or better work in terms of a systematic way. Task,
like
but it was not created to give you validation. So I feel that that is why a lot of people are getting into the spiritual mindset also, which is great. But again a but comes. But I think more and more people get spiritual. Maybe I hope and I wish that they get closer also. If you get closer to yourself, you'll get closer to other people.
So as we just talked about the dance and the styling that you perform, so how do you stay updated with the latest trends and developments when we talk about dance, and also how does this influence the training curriculums?
Okay, so in terms of trends, because I spend a lot of time with students across universities, I give workshops. And I give workshops. Very recently I gave a workshop at Jamia to the sculpture department, a creative dance workshop. So it was an interdisciplinary approach, because my approach is very interdisciplinary. So it was great giving a creative dance workshop to sculpture students, because sculptures, there's a big part of sculptures which comes from Ajanta Ellora caves, or even earlier, where there are different poses. So dance is influenced by sculpture is influenced by dance. It's like a chicken and egg kind of a debate, which I don't want to get into. It's not even important. But it was great. It was amalgamating, and it was learning, introducing beats, but also learning from them about different different movements, and they are like, it's a difficult art form, so it was very interesting to see how sculpture students are responding to dance.
Just the moment you said that it is not just a dance, I just remember one of the movies. I'm not talking about to take the movie's name, but where Deepika says dancing art hai. So I remember that thing, and as you said that all these sculptures which we see and look into, and student coming out of with amalgamating all the things with that, and then coming out with some of the good artistic position is something that is really very amazing. But I also want to know that in today's scenario, in this today's generation, how much do you feel that students are interested in all these artistic performance or artistic thing when you talk about, because rather than they're more interested into all these break dance and all these new type of dances that we are coming with, new type of genres, what do you have to say about some amazing artistic thing that we had, if we talk about classical dance, or if we talk about dance which expresses through a story of someone? So what do you have to say about it?
So today's day and age, a lot of people are interested in movements because they want to break free from the shackles, and they feel that movement, of course, is very, very liberating. Now, as far as classical dance is concerned, I feel that there are many people who are interested in it, like they're interested in any particular specialization. So yeah, there are some people interested in it. There are more people who are also experimenting now with classical dance. There are most classical dances except Kathak, as per what I know, is that they have a very strict format. Kathak also has a strict format, but there is something called as upaj in Kathak, where that you follow a strict format, but you can also choreograph your own tukras, todas or taranas. Whereas in other classical dance forms, it's very scripted. So it has pros and cons in both, because as much as there is liberty to experiment in Kathak, I feel somewhere it is losing its essence also, कि ना सर है ना पैर है, कुछ भी कथक बन जाते थे. But at the same time I feel that I'm glad that we have gurus who have been strict about the dance form, that they do point it out that no, it should be this way, and it's great, it must be this way, because if it has to be passed on, then the essence of the dance form has to be alive. But saying that, because I practice art performances and I take Kathak in a very different way. I take the vocabulary of Kathak. So I am a student of Kathak, and when I take the vocabulary, the reason I've been able to take the vocabulary is because the essence of the dance form has been maintained by certain gurus, right? So I think that it should be maintained, and at the same time, if one is taking a vocabulary of a certain classical dance form, then they must be very clear that they're taking vocabulary in their contemporary dance, modern dance or art performance or any kind of performance, and they should know the difference in their mind. They might not have to mention it every time, but it's great to experiment, but keep the experiment and the innovation different from the classical aspect.
Yeah,
so that no one gets offended and there is a clear boundary. It's not that you can't, nobody owns Kathak, but at the same time the essence is important, and at the same time take the vocabulary and experiment.
Exactly.
And be innovative towards it, but there has to be a definition, a clear definition.
And as we said that now we are a social media anchor, so अगर किसी को कुछ भी चीज offensive लगती है, so there is a rival between people, like how can you do this, how can you not, so उसके वजह से बहुत सारे rivals create होते हैं. And I've seen like people also going for dance genres, they're not doing it to offend someone, like even they're trying, they're experimenting. We see it in like all these shows that we have, dance shows, where they're experimenting through 2-3 genres itself, and they're doing it just for the sake of experiment. It is not like they're offending someone, because I've seen after that people come into the tweets and like they're adding on some tweets ki how are they performing like this is a disgrace, they should not be even if they take some of these songs and they do some kind of experimental, any other kind of genre dance in that, so people get offended ki aisa kyun kiya, aisa, like this is out of respect for the people who are gurus and all.
But the thing is that are the gurus coming and saying it? So if the authority doesn't come and say it, then who are these people?
Exactly, Mama.
So don't even bother.
And this creates I would say demotivation to the people who
so don't listen to them, because if somebody who has not spent 20 years doing an art form or has excelled in that, however, hasn't contributed, and that person does not have to be famous, I don't think so one should even bother. Secondly, the thing is that even if the person knows their subject, what is a true guru? According to our Vedas, a guru is a person who empowers and is also open-minded. So they are the protectors of tradition, to pass on tradition, but they are also open-minded enough that the tradition can evolve, right? So that there is more vocabulary. So that is the definition of a true guru. So if a guru comes and says that nahi yahi hai, iske alawa aur kuch hi nahi ho sakta, without giving a reason, then that person is not a guru according to the Vedas, not according to me. So if that kind of a person who is open-minded, who is spiritually enlightened, but also has a deep knowledge of classical arts, is coming and saying something, then with a particular reason and with ample knowledge, then that person's that person's authority can make sense. Otherwise anybody else, they have no idea what they're talking about. And mostly people say when they are not able to do something themselves, but at the same time आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो और गलत education फैला रहे हो, so then that is a social responsibility, even if it is not legally wrong. You should also then not promote it as a classical dance form, just say it is a performance.
Exactly.
So one has to be little I won't say careful, but one has to be fair.
Like you can just say experimenting my own genre.
Just say I'm creating a performance.
Exactly.
Experimentation, innovative dance.
Not to be very precise.
Yeah.
Because this can create some of the replications with the people who are into
who spend their whole life.
Exactly. So they can take it offensive, but not exactly offensive, I would say.
But I think अगर वो इतने evolved हैं तो मुझे नहीं लगता उनको भी offend होना चाहिए इतना. But अच्छा रहेगा अगर हम थोड़ी से clarifications कर दें. Clarity is very important, no? You should also be clear. Yeah.
जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी में ट्रेंड वी अपग्रेडेड, वैसे डांस इज आल्सो अ फॉर्म दैट वी अपग्रेडेड डे बाय डे. सो ऑफेंसिव इज नॉट अ thing that a guru or maybe any person who has devoted his or her life can actually get offended to that particular structure. But you have to, even the person who is performing has to be very responsible enough. Even if he is doing something, he has to be responsible enough that he does not hurt somebody else's segments, if you talk about.
But at the same time, मानसी, अगर एक बच्चा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, एक 7 साल के बच्चे को या 13 साल की बच्ची को क्या फर्क पड़ता है कौन गुरु है कौन नहीं है? सो आई थिंक जो एक्चुअली में एक ट्रू गुरु होता है वो इन चीजों से ऑफेंड भी नहीं होता, बिकॉज देयर इज चाइल्ड लाइक क्वालिटी, यू नो, दैट यू आर जस्ट परफॉर्मिंग.
दिल खोल के डांस करते हैं. So that would be more over like that kid like see,
and all these classical art forms or contemporary art forms are created so that your soul gets liberated.
Exactly.
Not that your soul gets trapped and say ये सही नहीं है गलत है. Yes, discipline is important, but ultimate goal क्या था नाट्य शास्त्र का? क्या था कि सोल को लिबरेट करना ना. तो अगर वो एंड ऑफ द डे सोल को लिबरेट नहीं कर रहा तो फिर उस चीज का फायदा, रेलेवेंस ही क्या है? सो एक वो बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट है कि उसका एंड गोल क्या है और उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है.
So you just talked about the objective.
Yeah.
So can you describe the overall structures and the curriculums that we have in the dance training programs?
And like the overall structures which are prevalent right now.
Exactly.
I think that now there are many structures, and I think there are actually, and there are most forms of dance which are available. There are many folk dances which are given a lot of importance. Apart from classical dance, there's contemporary dance, there is western dance. I think back in the day, 2 jazz dancers came, and it spread during Bollywood, and a lot of these contemporary dance schools were opened up, which is great. People opened up their knowledge to contemporary western dance also. And I think because of that, classical again got its due importance. Unfortunately, classical has been always given importance after a Bollywood exposure, but that should ideally not be the case. But the thing is that film is such a medium that it goes to all sections of society. So when it does go to all sections of society, then why not use it as a medium to promote ancient art form as well? So I think that everything is getting its own due importance. I just feel that dancers are not getting paid enough, especially folk dancers or any kind of, say, even ancient art form dancers. Like, maybe there are lakhs and crores of them, and government policies के हिसाब से उनको कितना दिया जाता है? 600 रुपए, 1000 रुपए, साल में 2-3 फंक्शंस होते, क्या होता है वो? It's nothing, So I feel that if that can be worked on, maybe through education, maybe open vocational study colleges, which the government is doing, and to also create courses on these, formal courses on these folk dance. So more than the popularity, through education they can earn money.
Exactly.
So till the time when I was also doing my fellowship in miniature painting, I always felt that till the time it is not accessible to universities, and this I would say that there is no university in India which has a formal miniature painting program. They have theory but they don't have practical, and in case they do have some workshops in practical, it's not up to the mark.
Exactly.
So now they're slowly calling miniature artists, who are giving workshops. And I feel back in the day, I did go to many universities, and I did say that this is something which I learnt. I'm very grateful to my gurus, and this is something which I'm practicing in contemporary times. And I did follow some traditional techniques I introduced to students, and I felt that जब तक awareness नहीं होगी, पता कैसे चलेगा? And like through these interviews or through going, if you make that extra effort, जब तक it's not in front of the people, how will you know?
Exactly. They won't get to know about how important it is to
understand, and even whether if a person has to decide that they want to do this or not want to do this, first they have to be exposed to it. If you don't know what it is, how can you make a decision, right? Yeah.
And just seeing this fact, so CBSE has bought this NEP 2020 as we had a conversation before. So in that case, what they're doing is that keeping academy aside for a while, even the student have to work on their extracurriculum. So they're just not focusing on academic, but also they're focusing on all the extracurriculum activity. For example, if I'm a student and I like to dance, or maybe if I love sports, so it is not like my parents cannot pressurize me for academic structures also. So CBSE has bought this thing that now just like academy is important. I'm not saying कि पढ़ना लिखना ही छोड़ दो. It is important. वरना तुम्हारे parents मेरे पास ही आएंगे. So it is like पढ़ो लिखो, but also जिसमें तुम्हें मन लग रहा है, like as dance हो, singing हो, theater ho, sports ho, make it an expression of yourself. And see, now CBSE, as we have talked about, they have started taking it into the initials, and now we believe that, as you said, people who are not getting opportunities, not getting paid enough to their, like they're not getting paid enough for their talent, of course, they're not able to show. So education industries now can actually hire these people and can give them chance to demonstrate about their learnings, the talents that they have. And also it is not just about demonstrating it to the student, but it is more over the guru shishya that we talk about, because eventually एक student के लिए जो उसकी एक life, एक जो phrase journey होती है life का, वो स्कूल में बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, because you have mentors, you have guardians. So if you talk about gurus who are just not validating themselves just for the sake of money, they're coming in like, I'm just earning over there this much, so I'll just make you do this or this, but also trying to make them understand about what exactly the emotion is about performing. So that is more important for them to understand, and not just them, but also the people, the coming youth. So it is important. And yes, I believe the point that you said that they're not getting paid enough, I truly believe that. And government should also look into all these things, like not just talking about performing art area, but also like B-Walk, if we say, but also talking about sports academy, even if we talk about, or maybe any other sports activities or any other activities. So yes, government should actually look into it. And also we had so much of conversation that I actually forgot the last question what I was going to ask, but the last but not the least question that I have is that, can you provide some of the guidance on how participants can actually continue to upskill and also advance their dance careers beyond the training programs, if you talk about it?
So how they can upscale in training programs as in beyond teaching?
Teaching, exactly.
So I think what they can do is probably the next way forward in contemporary art is probably combining two art forms together. So I think that would be great, because in contemporary art these days, back in the 70s, 80s, I think people have done amazing work and some artists have done something new. But again, there is a lot of cut, copy, paste.
Exactly.
Which is not right or wrong, because there's nothing original, but it would be nice if you have something more new, because art is about कलाकार किसको बोलते हैं, कल को आकार देने वाले को कलाकार बोलते हैं. तो अगर कल को और बेहतर आकार देना है तो अच्छा रहेगा कि हम लोग आर्ट फॉर्म्स को मिक्स करें थोड़ा, या इन्फ्लुएंस हो या सीखें, और that can be the way forward for contemporary art, and that will give a solid grounding. So I think for their own practice they can do that. And I think maybe, of course, the mental health unfortunately is becoming a huge sector, so that can help in I won't use the word treating, but releasing trauma with or stress, daily stress.
Exactly.
That they can do. They can also have classes in corporates, that every day corporates, because the lot of cities, there's a lot of traffic. So sometimes what happens is that from reaching one place, lot of people say कि हमारे पास dance class के लिए जाने के लिए, आर्ट क्लास जाने के लिए टाइम नहीं होता क्योंकि हम ऑफिस से 9 बजे आते हैं या 10 बजे आते हैं. तो वाई नॉट, अगर कॉर्पोरेट्स में ही या ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में ही डांस क्लासेस हुए या एक्स्ट्रा आर्ट क्लासेस हुए, तो जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं उनको अगर ऑफिस में ही मिल गया वो 1 घंटा, तो वो एटलीस्ट वो तो कर पाएंगे ना. सो आई थिंक दैट कैन बी अनदर वे फॉरवर्ड विच इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट. Thirdly, I think maybe see the periphery of your art practice. Say if you're a dance trainer, maybe if you feel that you need more source of income, see periphery around dance. Maybe get into production, maybe get into writing of dance, maybe get into documentation of dance, researching of dance, or again, like I said, that you'll have to think about the periphery. Like maybe convert performance into documentation. I'm not saying that you have to do it full time, but you'll have to see the periphery of your practice. So and the need and what is relevant, because you have to move with the times. You cannot not move with the times. So to be in the moment, art is a great way to be present in the moment. And what better than dance? And I love dance.
So what a blissful conversation that we had. Thank you so very much. I am sure that the audience is going to actually love this interview session and also have that motivation inside you that yes, you can go for what you like, but if you do it from your heart, from your feeling, and understanding like why exactly you want to do that. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you so very much.
It was lovely having this conversation with you.
Thank you so very much. So just before ending the interview session, there is a small token of love that we do.
Oh,
for
thank
our
you.
Guests.
Yeah.
Please sign this mug as a gesture of
thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Perfect. Thank you all for being here till this time and till this point of this interview session. We'll meet next time with our next guest. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.